True Broward, and we're here at the Broward Republican Party. This is John Cardillo. You know him from Twitter. Huge supporter of the police and Donald Trump. How you doing, John?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Tell us about. Let's talk about Trump. Big changes this week. What do you think about those changes? And is that going to stick this time?
Listen, I think the last two speeches he did were outstanding. The speech on public safety, domestic security policy, rock star status. He did a great national security speech. Again, presidential. He showed up in Baton Rouge, unloading trailers of supplies, toys for children. And I thought him being vilified for bringing toys was ridiculous. As a guy who's done disaster relief, that's always part of the package. They did it right. Now he brings on a campaign team. The left is losing their minds. But I've done business with Bannon from Breitbart. Smart guy. Understands what I call tabloid populism. And it's going to work. I believe the messaging is working. I believe that Trump's message is resonating. And I was in New York City this past weekend. I was in a bagel store in Hillary Country, Long Island. Conversation about Trump started. About 30 people, 10 people on the staff, every single one but one vehemently pro-Trump in Hillary Country. I'm seeing something anecdotally that I'm not seeing in polls, and when I dig into those polls, I'm seeing heavily weighting toward Dems and women. So I'm optimistic right now.
Well, the rally 2 weeks ago here in Broward, I was sitting in the stands because I wanted to experience, like, you hear the media saying it's crazy, and I was shocked it wasn't, and I realized the next day there were 6 women in the row behind me, 3 African Americans, a Hispanic mom and a toddler, and then an older white lady from New York, and they were all having a great time laughing. There was no yelling, and there was no vilifying anybody. So, anecdotally, there are these stories out there. You're also with the police, and when there's a terror attack or a police shooting, you're one of the voices who kind of delves into the facts and tries to get the other information, the other side of the story out there. Tell us about how you started that and what's been the reaction.
Well, I was NYPD, and what happened was when I went into the private sector after my career at NYPD, I was called on as a subject matter expert in media. And that all came to be because I had a business. We were tracking and removing violent sexual predators from large online communities. And it was a very media-heavy topic back in 08, 09. And they kept calling me to speak about it. Turned out I was pretty good at it. I was used more and more. Glenn Beck started using me. NRA News started using me. Fox Business, Fox News. And about 3-4 years ago, I said, hey, you know what, might as well do this myself. So I got on the phone with program directors, pitched a radio show, wound up now, do the morning drive show here on 880. But it's worked out well because the police need a voice. People are rushing in to the sound of gunfire night and day. And when I talk about the police, I mean all first responders, firefighters, medics. They're rushing into burn-in buildings. They're rushing toward gunfire, making very, very little money. You know, I hear people scream about a $15 minimum wage for burger flippers. Fernandina Beach, Florida. Starting salary for a police officer, $12.68 an hour. They've got to pull cars over at night, felony car stops. And so I need to be a voice for them. I work that job. I know what it's like. I want to be their voice because no one else is really out. Sheriff David Clark, a few other people are doing a masterful job. But by and large, the media is anti-police, pro-criminal.
You're on the radio. September 11th, you're going to be at Broward Community College, Bailey Hall. Hugh Hewitt and a couple other people talking. What's the night going to be about, and what are you going to be presenting? I
think the format is going to be a Q&A. Hugh Hewitt, Dennis Prager, and Jon Voight. And if you're a Ray Donovan fan,
big Ray Donovan, Mickey,
so awesome in that role. That's what I'm excited about. But it's going to really be a Q&A about the state of politics in our country. And I'm really glad they brought Jon Voight because we need to infuse more pop culture into conservatism. And I think he's one of the people that can help do that.
John Cardillo, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.